Well, ladies and gentlemen, with the 2024 Summer Olympics in the rearview mirror, we now shift our focus to the 2028 Olympics that will be in Los Angeles and also, believe it or not, Oklahoma City as well. And I'm going to go through some of the newer renderings that I saw. I did a video about a year ago on this topic, but now they've released a lot more renderings. You have the two major stadiums that will be hosting the games. You've got the Coliseum. That is the home of the USC Trojans, and then also SoFi Stadium, the most expensive stadium in the world, just recently opened a few years ago, and it's already hosted multiple huge events, and it will be hosting, if you see these new renderings on SoFi, a lot of the swimming events, which will make for a real interesting experience underneath the translucent roof. Seems like they're going to be blocking out a bunch of seats there inside SoFi. That's not going to be where the track is. Obviously, I think mainly it's because of the roof. They wouldn't have it at SoFi. And also probably there's something to do with it being a newer stadium and maybe it's not wide enough, like the field is not wide enough to put a track in there. So all the big time track events will be held at the LA Memorial Coliseum, which, believe it or not, has hosted the Summer Olympics before. But if you don't know about the LA Coliseum, they did just recently get a huge renovation where they changed out all the seating, added in a bunch of suites on the one side. And so that is going to be hosting a lot of the events as well. Now, when it comes to the events, I think it's very interesting. You've got baseball coming back to the Olympics in 2028, as well as flag football and golf too. So I'm just going to go through this kind of rendering by rendering to take a look and see where a lot of these events will be. So this is the Oklahoma City softball rendering to where they're going to be playing games in Oklahoma City, the softball games. You can see, kind of weird, I think, having it in a different state, but I guess if you need venues, that is what it is. This is a recreational area that's going to be hosting, looks like a lot of the motorsport events. So there is that. This is the Intuit Dome. So yes, the Intuit Dome is going to be the main home for the Olympics basketball, which is a huge thing considering the Intuit Dome is the newest NBA arena. Technically, it's not even opened yet for NBA games. It opens this fall, but you do have the Intuit Dome as well as Crypto.com Arena. Now, Crypto.com Arena is going to be hosting other things outside of basketball. That is the home of the Lakers, and the Intuit Dome is the new home of the Clippers. That's going to be the one that hosts all the big-time Olympic basketball games, which isn't surprising considering it is newer than Crypto.com Arena. This is the USC campus pool venue planned for 2028. Seems like they've got a bunch of extended seating that they're going to be installing with that rendering right there. This is the Coliseum. You can see the massive track surrounding it, and I wonder if I don't think they're going to have to take out seats there, maybe a few sections of lower bowl seating, but it does seem like because the LA Coliseum is so, well, I don't know, because they got a renovation, maybe they added more seats lower, but there is that. Looks like OKC will also be hosting some of the canoe events, possibly as well. And then you do also have the Long Beach Shore, which will host sailing events in 2028 with some cool renderings on that. These are athletic fields in Carson, California, that are going to be used as field hockey venues temporarily in 2028 normally. They are soccer stadiums. This is the Riviera Country Club in West Los Angeles. It's going to host golf in 2028. And then when it comes to who will host baseball, there are no renderings for it because right now they don't know, just because of the situation with the MLB season happening during the Olympics. There are some different options for Major League Baseball. It seems like they're really trying to up their popularity, and I don't know if you want to call it more desperation or they just see what's happening with the NBA and Team USA and everyone cheering them on, but they are talking about possibly taking a 2-week break. I think you could very easily do it, honestly. Like, just start the season a week earlier and then go 1 week later, and you could do the All-Star break, make it instead of 4 days, just make it 2 weeks, and then you wouldn't really have the stadium complications. I mean, right now, they want Dodger Stadium to host, they want Oracle Park to be one of the hosts, and then possibly also Angel Stadium as well. If Olympic Games were at Oracle Park, that'd be pretty sweet. So I think that's what's going to be happening, but right now there's just a lot of scheduling conflicts that will have to be worked out in terms of that, because we have to see if Major League Baseball will be committing to sending some of their players to these games. It's also different because you've got pitchers with all the innings limits now. Imagine in 2028 how bad it's going to be. Will team owners who are paying these, players really allow them, if the teams in the hunt to make the playoffs, allow their starting pitchers to put 20, maybe 30 more competitive innings on their bodies? There's a lot of complications, but I do think Dodger Stadium will definitely host, and they're going to have to figure it out relatively soon because all of this stuff is already pretty much planned out, it seems like, outside of baseball. So it'll be interesting when it comes to what MLB decides to do on that, but Dodger Stadium, I would say for sure as a host, along with Oracle Park. Will they do maybe at like a AAA stadiums or something? Will they be able to fill the MLB stadiums? I don't know, just because we're not really sure with baseball in the Olympics. Maybe they will do smaller stadiums. It just depends, but I do think definitely the final, like the gold medal game, would be in a massive MLB stadium like Dodger Stadium, which has the capacity of around 56K. But either way, those are just some of the major events happening in the 2028 Summer Olympics. And then you also do have in 2028, obviously, we don't know, but the president will be opening the games, whether it is Trump or Harris. That will be coming, and that'll be right actually at the end of their term, because in 2028, just the way the Summer Olympics are, it aligns perfectly with our election. So there'll be another U.S. presidential election in 2028 in a few months after the July Olympics that happened then, very similar to what happened this year with Paris. But that is just the LA Summer Olympics. I'm sure LA is going to be a total mess when this happens. I know there's been many cities in the United States that have tried to get the Olympics. I'm kind of surprised they're already going back to LA, but it is understandable because with the Olympics now, pretty much they're exclusively, especially the Summer Olympics, they're only going to big cities because they already have the infrastructure built. The problem is if you do the Summer Olympics in a smaller place, they have to build up a brand new grand stadium. Like take LA, for example. I read somewhere that they're going to be opening the games in the Coliseum and closing them at SoFi Stadium. So it's not like they have to build another stadium or anything like that. I remember when Boston tried to get the Olympics, they would have to build up like a temporary grand stadium. It doesn't make much sense. And another thing, when it comes to like which stadium does the grand opening, I think it would be better if probably the Coliseum did it, just based off of like the Olympic vibe and just the way the stadium is, especially with SoFi Stadium possibly being set up for swimming. I don't really know how that would work. Yeah, I don't think that's even possible. So I would imagine the Coliseum is going to be doing the grand opening. So that does make sense. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.